the playoff game that took place last night between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Atlanta Hawks. The Bucks outlasted the Hawks in Game 3 on the road at State Farm Arena, 113-102, behind 38 points from Khris Middleton. The Bucks have now taken a 2-1 series lead in this Eastern Conference Finals. They're 2 games away from reaching the NBA Finals. And in life, there are always consistent themes and traits amongst the most successful people. No matter what walk of life you're in, there's always something consistent that is kind of universal amongst every single person, every single thing that is a great success, right? Typically, the most successful people are never the ones that are just productive for 1 month or 1 week, or they revolutionize one thing. They are consistently great at what they do. They are constantly innovative, constantly answering the call when they're called upon. You can look at music. There are many examples of one-hit wonders when it comes to musicians. The Tokens, 1960, came out with The Lion Sleeps Tonight. Everyone's used to hearing that song in the remake version in the movie The Lion King. That was a huge success. The Tokens never came out with anything else that was nearly as successful as that. Steam in 1969 came out with Na 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 Hey 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 Goodbye. That was it. That was the only song that they have. Apologies if you didn't like my own rendition and spin on that song right there. That was the only successful song that they had. The Macarena. That was the only song that artist came out with. It was a big success. There are a lot of one-hit wonders, but when you look at the most successful musicians, they delivered multiple songs. They composed multiple sheets of music. Beethoven isn't just known for one symphony. He composed a number of symphonies. Michael Jackson, the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, Beyonce. They deliver consistent hits. They're not just one-hit wonders. And the same thing applies to technology. Apple didn't just revolutionize technology with the MacBook and with the computer, their version of it. They continue to refine it, but they came out with the iPhone, the iPad. They're constantly innovating. Elon Musk didn't just create PayPal. He said, hey, I'm going to top PayPal, and I'm going to create an electric car in Tesla, and I'm going to create reusable rockets and try and commercialize flights to space with his company SpaceX. These are revolutionary, innovative people that do more than one thing. And the same thing applies to sports. The greatest athletes of all time didn't just deliver in one postseason, didn't just deliver for one game. Tom Brady, LeBron, Michael Jordan, Kobe, Serena Williams, Tiger Woods, Wayne Gretzky, Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo. These guys have delivered time and time again magical virtuoso performances. That's what's made them great. And when we look at the Milwaukee Bucks, the one thing that we've always said, the reason why they've experienced these shortcomings in previous postseasons, especially over the last 4 years when they've been highly touted and have had all these expectations, was that they were never consistent enough in the postseason. And specifically, we falsely accused one guy of being inconsistent. We always attributed all the lack of success and the disappointments to Giannis Antetokounmpo, but the reality is it was never about just Giannis. Giannis was not just the guy. If you really look at Giannis and you're objective about him, Giannis has actually been one of the more bright spots for the Milwaukee Bucks in their previous postseasons. This is a guy who, by the way, just dropped a casual 33 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists yesterday. And in this postseason this year, he's averaging 29 points, 13.5 rebounds, 4 assists on 54% shooting. Over the last four postseasons, during this high stretch of great basketball for the Milwaukee Bucks when Giannis won back-to-back MVPs, he averaged 28 points per game, 12 rebounds, 5.5 assists on 56% shooting over the past 4 seasons. It was never about Giannis. Sure, we'd like him to do more, and that's valid, and there are moments when he's missed a crucial free throw, or we want to see him be able to shoot a jump shot a little bit more effectively and efficiently. But the reality is, Giannis has been productive and has been contributing. No, the reason why the Bucks have come up short in recent seasons is because of Khris Middleton. Khris Middleton has epitomized what it means to ride a roller coaster of emotions, these ebbs and flows of performances. Khris Middleton is that X factor. Is he truly a number 2? Yesterday, he dropped a playoff career high 38 points. He outscored the Atlanta Hawks 20-17 in the fourth quarter. These are the types of performances that have been needed for the Milwaukee Bucks to advance. This has been the biggest question mark. Were they going to get consistent performances out of Khris Middleton? And the problem is this postseason, while he has been producing better numbers statistically, 22 points per game, 8 rebounds, 4.5 assists, but his percentages are still lower than they were in the regular season. He's shooting 42% from the floor, 34% from the three-point line, which those field goal percentages have dropped significantly in the postseason. But with that being said, this has been, relative to his previous postseasons, the most consistent postseason that he has had for Khris Middleton. He has scored 25-plus points in a game 5 times this postseason. He scored at least 30 or more points 3 times in this postseason, which, again, given the massive contract that he signed, given that he's been an all-star a couple times, obviously being paid like it, you would expect to see those types of performances. But he's a very good basketball player that hasn't always been consistent. And now we're starting to see a little bit more consistency. Again, not enough to automatically crown them as a champion. Middleton scored 15 points in games 1 and 2. He scored more points in the fourth quarter yesterday than he scored in the first 2 games of the Eastern Conference Finals at home. So this game was on the road. And the telling stat is this: when Khris Middleton shoots better than 40%, and he shot 15 of 26 yesterday, 6 of 12 from 3. When Khris Middleton shoots 40% or better from the floor, the Milwaukee Bucks are 9-0 in this postseason. When he shoots below that, they're 1-4. So I understand all the criticism that can be heaped in the direction of Giannis for not being able to shoot from the outside. All of those are valid, but at the end of the day, it's never about Giannis. Giannis actually produces and is one of the more consistent players. We just expect, because he's averaging 30 and 11, that we expect him to take it up in another notch and start averaging 40 and 15. No, the guy is a walking 30-point per game and 10 to 12 rebound per game guy. It's about Khris Middleton and some of these other players doing what they're supposed to do. Yesterday, we got that, which is why they won the game. So when you look at this matchup and then you shift it to the Atlanta Hawks and you say, well, they came out of the gates aggressive, confidently. They jumped out to a 13-point lead in the first quarter. They jumped out to a major lead in the opening quarter, 7-0 run to start the game. They even led 95-88 with 7:32 remaining in the fourth quarter. This is a really good Atlanta Hawks team, a really confident Atlanta Hawks team. And it was Khris Middleton after at that moment when they're down 95-88, he sparks a 25-9 run and an even briefer 15-3 run. So all this talk about it's got to be Giannis, it's got to be Giannis. No, Giannis will step up. He will be there when you need him. He has shown that. Again, as far as the production, he is there. It all comes down, it all boils down, though, to Khris Middleton. Will Khris Middleton play like he's supposed to? And this postseason, he's been a little bit more consistent, which has been the biggest difference. He's the biggest X factor. The Bucks are primed to win not only this series, but an NBA championship. I mean, they are way better than the Atlanta Hawks. On paper, their roster is better than the Atlanta Hawks. They've got so much more star power than the Atlanta Hawks. But at the end of the day, you've got a guy in Trae Young who drops 35 points. And really, he scored 32 points midway or nearly through the end of the third quarter. And then, unfortunately, stepped on the foot of the sideline official which was just really, again, unfortunate to see because I would have loved to have seen what the outcome of that game would have been if he wasn't hobbled and compromised. Now he's got a tweaked ankle, and it's just a shame that it slowed him down because, again, injuries perhaps are determining the outcome of yet another series. So everything is coming together and coalescing for the Milwaukee Bucks right now to make a great run. They are having every single break go their way. They're getting enough consistent performances out of their good players. Bobby Portis chipped in with about 18 points yesterday. He was really good. So, and if you're Sean Wright, you're the official, get out of the way, man. Because now you might have just cost the Atlanta Hawks a chance at taking a lead in this series and making some more noise, which they've already done. So it's a little bit of deja vu for the Atlanta Hawks. They were in this position against the 76ers in the previous round where they took they split on the road. They took the opening game of the series on the road. Then they came back home, lost the first one at State Farm Arena to trail 2-1. But this feels different because they had a healthy Trae Young back then. Now everything's completely different when you've got your star player perhaps unable to play at 100% with an ankle, when what creates his mismatches, what makes him so good, is his ability to blow by defenders using his speed. So if he can't do that, he might be forced to stay out on the perimeter and try and do most of his damage down there. So that's the big thing. When he's healthy, he's a star, and this team goes as far as he takes them. And if he's injured, then that might be the end of the series. But again, this was about Khris Middleton stepping up and the Milwaukee Bucks finding some semblance of consistency that they needed to close out this win.